Hello once again and welcome back to another episode of Father and Sundays, the unexplainable guide to absolutely nothing. This week we're on episode 103.
Only a 103?
Yes, and we are talking about, retrospectively, Eurovision.
Excellent.
So stick around if you would like to hear more. Well, hello there, Dad. Or shall I call you David?
You can call me David. I've got over that now. And you could call me Dad because I am your dad. And good day, good afternoon, good evening to you, Connor. Or should I say, my son?
I thought you were going to say, or should I say, Connor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad. I just wanted to say this is the unexplainable guide to absolutely nothing.
Is it? Because I remember listening to a podcast and I thought we changed what we were going to do. Because for once, it didn't say that.
Yeah, I know. Well, last week, if you've listened to last week's episode, it was if you listen to this future, you might have just listened to it.
Yep.
The eagle-eared of you would have noticed that I didn't say
eagle-eared.
Eagle-eared.
Yeah.
They're very much known for their ears, eagles. Don't know if you know
that's
this.
where the term
that's
comes
where
from. Yeah?
the E and the A in ear comes from.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right. Great. I have to watch out for that or listen.
You have to listen out for that, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, you may have noticed that I didn't say the unexplainable guide to absolutely nothing in the intro, and I'm sorry for the disappointment there. As we know, we had quite a long break forced upon us due to illness and
the plague in our house.
Yep. And yeah, that led us to not recording for ages, so we're very much out of practice by the time it came to that episode.
Yep. It was Stag. The episode wasn't it? Stag,
yeah. Similarly, I was going to mention this in a bit, but I might as well mention it now because you may notice. We're talking about Eurovision on the 11th of June. Just working out what tomorrow's date will be.
Well done.
On the 11th of June. Isn't that strange? Because wasn't Eurovision like back in
2022?
May. It was in May.
Yeah.
And you'd be right in thinking that.
Excuse me.
But you're excused. But the same thing goes again is we were ill and we missed it because we were ill. And to be fair, if you were to listen to us at the time, we would have been speaking like this anyway.
We had a whole night planned, didn't we? We were going to go right to the wire, watch the results come in, see who won it, and then
add a little bit extra. And before it released at 5 a.m. in the morning, we were going to go all out. However, because we were ill, it means we didn't have to do that, which is probably a good thing, to be fair.
I was probably in bed.
And you'll notice this with a couple of other episodes that are due to be coming out, that they sound like they should have been done ages ago. And you're right, they should have been done ages ago. Because interestingly, next week's episode is going to be released on Father's Day. So for a moment, I got confused thinking it was this episode, but it's next week's episode. It's going to be released.
Next week's episode.
It's going to be released on Father's Day, and it's probably not going to have much to do with Father's Day.
It might do
have a bit to do with Father's Day because we've just realised we've got more time to do it.
We might be able to do so
because we thought this episode's coming out on Father's Day.
This is so professional. It's unreal.
Yeah. So there's that, but yeah, you'll notice it with a few other episodes, and it's this is coming out at a different time. So let's just pretend, let's take ourselves back a little bit to May and pretend we are talking about Eurovision. But before we go back in time... Wow, what a week.
Well, what a couple of weeks, really.
Couple of weeks. Yeah, what a couple of weeks.
It's been... I mean, when you...
I coughed there a moment ago. That's what we're talking about. When you look
at your life coming up and you think, there's certain events in your life, there's certain big things that happen. And, in the last couple of weeks, we've had something that I've got to say has been one of the greatest days of my life.
Yeah.
And I know yours as well. It was emotional. I
got very nervous. I felt sick and nervous, but it was beautiful.
It was a beautiful day. Something that I think we will never, ever forget.
Yeah.
Something that touched our hearts.
It's very close to my heart right now.
And lifted our spirits. And that, of course, was West Ham winning the Europa Conference League on Wednesday night. I keep going to say Thursday. Wednesday night, bringing tears to our eyes and hope to our heart. And you, that shirt you're wearing.
Yeah, and I'm wearing the
commemorative shirt.
The commemorative shirt for the Europa Conference League, which is the third kit. It's got the
Prague nice. I'm very jealous
thing on it. And if you are not a West Ham supporter, that may be fine. And you may not be as excited as we are about West Ham win the Conference League, but we're just trying to enjoy it while it lasts. So whether you think
I couldn't give a stuff.
Yeah, I know you can't.
This don't happen. This don't happen.
It doesn't
very often,
happen, but we're just trying to enjoy it whilst it's there. And if you're fed up with all the celebrating, well, I'm sorry, but
tough luck. We'll do a little bit more.
You'll probably be celebrating when you win something.
Exactly.
If you do.
If you support
like us,
one of
if
those
you like us.
cup-winning teams. Anyway, and
European Cup.
It would be remiss of me to not mention another day in the last couple of weeks.
What was it again?
It was Becky and Sam's
Oh yeah, Becky and Sam got
day.
married, didn't they? Yeah.
And joking aside, it was an absolutely, I'm going to say all the same things here now, beautiful day. It was perfect.
It was a long day, don't get me wrong. I was very tired.
Yeah, I was very tired by the end of it. But it was a wonderful day. I love them both to bits. It was, we all got sunburn. I even had a bit of a drink as well, which is unusual.
Yeah.
There was some absolutely fabulous dancing of the like you've not seen since... whatchamacallit?
Yes, that joke would have been really good if you could think of what to say
I
next
could remember...
anyone who dances.
Anyone who dances.
Go?
You know, that dance group that's really popular. Diversity, that's it.
Yeah.
It looked like they choreographed
so glad.
the whole evening.
Yeah.
Because if I hadn't have got to that, it would have really bothered me. Right at the end of this, I'd have had to say it then if I'd have remembered. But no, it was wonderful. As I say, I love them both to bits. It was a wonderful day. They had a great time.
As Nanny Joyce would say, it was a lovely day.
It was a lovely day. But yes, congratulations to them both. And yeah.
Husband and wife now.
Husband and wife, Mr. and Mrs.
And this is to Sam. That's my sister, so,
Yeah.
watch out.
Watch out, mate. We're watching.
No,
you.
I love Sam. I love Sam.
No, but we're still watching.
He called in
you.
me. Yeah, we're still watching you.
We're still watching you. Yeah. We just got our eye on you.
You're like a brother to me, but I am keeping my eye on you.
You're like the son I never had.
Excuse me.
But I've got my eye. I've got my
Lazy eye.
eagle eyes and ears on you.
Well, I've got my eagle ears on you, Sam.
I'm going to hear everything you say. Anyway, no. Anything else amazing happening?
It feels funny that we're brushing past the wedding, but we did talk about it last week with the stag.
But we will continue to talk about it, I'm sure, because we're going to look at some photos. So there might be a review of the photos.
Yeah, well, once we've seen the photos, we might change our mind about how the wedding went.
How it went. I actually, as far as the photos are concerned, I'm rather concerned about it, rather worried, because I seem to, as soon as we started lining up to have the photos taken, get a spasm happening in the side of my face. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever had that when your eye starts twitching or your cheek starts twitching.
It's just me listening, but carry on.
Right, well, I'm just putting it out there, but basically, to me, it felt like a whole of my right-hand side of my face was pulsating. To my wife, who looked and said, "Oh no, it's just twitching a bit," but I just dearly hope the photographer
it was a nerve thing.
Ruined all of the photos.
I'll make you feel a bit better. We had pre-shoot kind of done before the wedding. Pre-shoot. You know how the girls normally have ones all getting ready and stuff. There was two photographers at this wedding, so they had one with the guys getting ready as well. Did
the guy come and see you, and the girl went and see them?
Yeah. And we all had to do cheers.
All right.
But the problem is we're all really awkward and nervous at that point, and all of us forgotten how to say cheers, and all each went cheers. And we did it in slow motion.
Cheers.
He was doing videos as well, and because he was doing videos, we were just conscious of the fact of him taking photos, but we did things so staged that when it came to the videos, for some reason we also did it in slow motion.
I know exactly what you mean, because I was the best man at a wedding, and we were outside the church and we were supposed to be shaking hands, and we weren't sure whether they were taking a photograph or a video or whatever, and it got really ridiculous. So.
Yeah. Anyway, though, but we did that. And then also, just wanted to. I'm looking forward to seeing. You know when they walked through and everyone threw confetti at them. I had some confetti and
things like that.
I really tried to throw it really hard in Sam's face.
Well, they put them in cones, and I wasn't sure.
What if they caught it on camera? Because I'm pretty sure I got it right up. Yeah, it was in a cone. I got it right up to his face. I'm wondering if it looked like he's got like a cone on his nose.
Well, Sam's granddad was standing next to me, and he said, "How do we do this?" And I said, "I think you just aim it like a dart at them, and as it hits them, it explodes and it all comes out." And we laughed, but I wasn't 100% sure. I was a little bit worried as I walked through that he'd actually taken that as what you should do. But
Yeah.
There you go. No,
Anyway.
it was great. It was great, and a new addition to our family.
No, he's been around for a while.
Yeah, he's been in our family for a while now. But
they've been together for 10 years next month, isn't it?
Yeah, still got my eye on, Still not sure. He's shifty, bit shifty. Anyway, if that's
sorry.
Oh, go on. No, go for it.
Eurovision.
Eurovision. Right, so the Eurovision Song Contest. Obviously, when we were recording this, we were on the back of what was quite an iconic contest in 2022.
Yes.
Obviously.
For the UK, we should say.
Well, for the UK and for the Ukraine as well. And obviously.
They don't like you saying the Ukraine.
Do they not?
No.
What would they like to me say? Ukraine?
Ukraine.
Okay, for Ukraine and Great Britain. Because of the situation in
United
Ukraine, the United Kingdom hosted it, but very much in a collaboration with Ukraine.
Yeah.
Both
the UK's together.
Yeah. We had High Hopes.
No, that's a song by Panic at the Disco.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
We still had High Hopes. The song was, I like the song that was the entry for United Kingdom.
Do you feel like when I listened to it, I felt like someone had turned it down?
What, when it actually...
Yeah, it was actually
played...
When she sung it, it sounded like the vocals had been turned down.
Well, for so many years, we've watched it or I've seen bits of it and, we wouldn't get... Even if we had a good song, we wouldn't get many points. It all become quite political. It was just a bit soul-destroying.
Yeah.
And then last year, obviously, that all changed. Oh, don't! You're getting emotional again about it.
I'm getting emotional. See, are you talking about 22 or 23?
I'll talk about 22 when it changed for us.
We'll talk about 22 first, because I didn't watch 22.
No.
I only watched the results of 22.
Mm.
I changed that for 23 because we planned a podcast about it.
Yeah, we did, yeah. So we thought we'd better do a bit of homework, yeah.
Yeah. I watched the entire thing.
You watched the entire thing.
Yeah.
And I must admit, I was sort of dipping in and out of it, and it was...
Well, you were dipping out of consciousness. You were falling asleep.
Yes, that happens a lot. So some of them were spectacular. Some of them were ridiculous. This is the same for most of the Eurovision Song Contest over the years. You get all sorts. But there was some quite good, quite catchy tunes and all the rest of it. But we kind of, and a spoiler alert, if you were waiting for our podcast to find out what actually happened in the Eurovision.
Which one?
The 2023, the most recent
sorry,
one.
I thought we were talking about 22 still.
No, 20.
Because it's got confusing, because you said we're going to talk about 22, and then I distracted you with 23, and now we're back on 23
Well, no,
again.
2022 was an incredible one.
Okay.
It kind of made me think that perhaps things had changed and people liked us in the United Kingdom, and then 2023 seemed to go back to exactly what had been happening from the previous. And it didn't deserve to not get points.
Yeah.
And it was very few points we got for that song. So that was a shame, and it's a shame for everybody. But,
Still was a good song.
Still a good song. It probably still do well. She'll probably go on and have a great career. And all that
like all those other ones
but
at the Eurovision.
I remember you asking me, you said, Dad, I've been up all night. I said, what is it, son? And you said to me, I really don't know how the Eurovision Song Contest started. What made it like sort of what it is. And,
yes, I remember this.
Do you remember that?
No. Yes, I do.
So let me give you a little bit of a background, right?
Yes, I look forward to it.
So many things were considered as way of bringing some unity to Europe after the Second World War, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, that ended in September 45. And
Obviously,
one of the things they thought of was having this sort of song contest to get people to something, that will unite people, something that people would all get involved in, which was very, funny enough, non-political, something that just is a joy of song and a joy of music. It took place, the first one, in Lugano in Switzerland on 24th of May 1956, and the countries debuting, they entered 2 songs each, so obviously now they only have 1 song.
Sorry about that.
And it was only a solo artist, so there was no bands, there was nothing like that. There was an actual orchestra that played the music for them, but there was no bands. And
just one person singing a cappella would have been a bit awkward.
And then they picked the best song out of the 2. But the actual founding members were Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and Switzerland. I presume I can call them the Netherlands, and they don't get upset about that, yeah?
I don't know actually about the Netherlands. Yeah. I know there was a while ago, Ukraine got a little bit annoyed, but people call them
No, that's fine. You are here to keep me on the right path as far as all these
so we don't get in trouble.
Exactly. The voting. 2-member juries from each country.
Because we were busy then. We didn't
were
join
busy.
That one. Yeah,
the reason
busy.
we didn't join is because we set up our own one for United Kingdom, our own music and all the rest of it. That year we decided we were too busy. No, it was the United Kingdom. I can't even remember what it was called actually.
X Factor.
Yeah, it was the very early stages of the X Factor.
Yeah.
So the voting for those 2-member juries from each country rated songs between 1 and 10 points. This was done in secret, and they could vote for only. They could vote for their own song as well.
Oh, madness!
No, it's terrible.
So
Switzerland
points,
won it with a song called Refrain. Austria and Denmark continually missed deadlines to enter, so were absent. And as I said, the United Kingdom didn't send an entry in favour of their own contests for only British acts. Ireland has won it the most with 7 victories, but they didn't come in till a bit later on.
See, they made jokes about that in Father Ted, didn't they? About the fact that they were winning so often that it cost them so much money that they didn't want to win anymore.
Well, Ireland only came into the contest in the 1960s. It's weird how the additions. Obviously,
that's the
world
decade you were born in.
It is. Obviously, the world map has changed many times over the years. So
Pangea.
Yeah, and then now we've got the very first one, there was only
one continent.
one person. They won it every year up until 1956. No, I don't know. But okay, Ireland have had the most victories with 7. I think we've covered this when we talked about Ireland actually. Sweden with 6, and they obviously won.
They won
the
it
most
in 23.
recent one,
yeah.
Well, Luxembourg, France, the Netherlands, and the UK have all won it 5 times.
Wow. And so we are in the top.
Yeah.
However many.
And even though we think that every year we just get sort of pushed to one side and they're not bothered, it's a massive, massive thing for people. It's become this real big show.
So, for example, Sweden, they get so into it that they actually have a competition where the winner of the competition, like it's like a TV show, like the likes of X Factor or Britain's Got Talent or something like that, like where the winner goes on to play for Eurovision. They do Eurovision. Whereas we just have some bloke or group of people that pick out someone.
Yeah, we do have sort of preliminary rounds. We do have sort of, you get things like...
Public don't get involved in
our
them,
magazine shows, like the one... Yeah, no, they don't, I don't believe. But the one show sort of do things and that, which is just like a... an
when they're not doing
show.
competitions about cakes
and things like that, and flooding and
they did the competition for the coronation food, didn't they?
They did indeed. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah. But we'll have to wait for the King's Coronation podcast, which is coming up.
That is coming up. That's true. Because we didn't do that one as well.
He's been king now for like 4.5 years. No, because that was another one we had planned. Yeah. So I mean, the actual competition itself. We laugh about it, and we've had people that have commentated on it. We used to have Terry Wogan that did a lot of the commentary on it.
Can you do an impression?
No.
Terry Wogan.
Well, you just said it in a low voice.
So,
and he was Irish for a start.
Hang on, what's the Irish accent?
No, don't.
Here.
No, perhaps you shouldn't do.
Hello there. No,
that sounded more like him.
Hello there. Now we have the next act, which is United Kingdom.
And it's funny that the next person to do the commentary on it is Graham Norton.
Oh, hello there. And now it's it's going to be.
It's lucky you can do Irish accents. Well,
I'm looking at this. But didn't do that for the Irish episode, did I?
But it's always been done tongue in cheek, hasn't it? At first it was quite serious.
They had Mel Gibson on it this year, though.
Did they?
For a little bit. So Graham Norton did most of it, but for the first act and the last act,
I think you'll find it wasn't Mel Gibson. It was Mel Goodrich.
Mel Goodrich, yeah, that's it.
Not the Australian Hollywood actor Mel Gibson.
Yes, but sorry, let's revert back. They have Mel Goodrich do 2 bits.
Yeah, she was involved. But they try and make it. I mean, it's quite these days as well. There's quite a
Mel
big
B
link.
and Mel C there.
Everybody called Mel.
Everyone called Mel.
But it's quite interlinked with the Pride movement as well. There's a lot of that celebrated.
Oh yeah, it's very big on. Basically, it's one big. It is a very camp.
It is a camp competition.
Yeah, and when you have a look at some of the acts in it, who was it? Who was it that everyone wanted to win? All the public wanted to win, especially in the UK. Oh, what was the one where they wore that green? They looked like they were dressed like the Hulk.
Oh yeah. I can't
stuff.
think what country it was. But
see,
yeah.
if we did this podcast, I would have been able to tell you loads about it.
Yeah,
if we did
it's been ages ago, and we've had the big things like the West Ham win since then.
Yeah.
So that's completely preoccupied
and
our minds.
also lots of flowers.
And lots of flowers we've got around it. Yeah,
at a wedding.
Yeah, at a wedding. Yes, so it is. It's celebrated around the world. I don't know that
around
other
the world,
countries,
interestingly though, because you are right. It's spread.
Canada, and I mean, there's a lot of countries that sit outside of being able to qualify for it. I mean, obviously, famously, we talk about Australia now part, and Australia
consistently.
Well, yeah,
they didn't qualify for 22, did they? I don't think.
No, I think they went out, but it was in the
final. We mainly talk about the finals.
2010s that Australia joined.
Because there are semi-finals as well.
But there's 20 countries competing the final after the semi-final eliminations, and I think Australia were one of the ones that went out this particular year and didn't make it to the final.
And interestingly, UK never has to do the semi-final eliminations because
we're one.
Is it part of the big? Don't they refer to them as the big six
even
as
though
well?
we weren't
not
at
football,
the very
but
first one, I think because we were very much part of this being pulled together.
It's the reason being behind it is actually because we're the ones that pump money into it.
Well, there's
about 6 countries that pump money into it, which is us, Spain, France.
But when they talked about at the beginning the unity,
I don't know.
The other thing that was happening was broadcasting, and the broadcasting companies it was fairly unique at that point that they started talking to each other and they started working with each other. So it enabled something to be broadcast across countries, and that wasn't necessarily the case up until then.
Yeah.
But no, I think people see it. People have parties in this country, even though it's seen as a bit of a, and I will say a bit of a joke, people take the mickey out of it and all the rest of it. It is a big thing over there.
It is a bit of a joke because it is just a bit of fun. It's nothing serious about Eurovision to an extent. Like Sam Ryder was serious about Sam Ryder because he was very good. And he look. I'm saying that he should have won. It'd probably be unfair.
I think if everybody was honest, he won the song he did and his performance, and the guy himself is an incredible guy. Whether you like his music or not, he seems like such
always happy,
genuine, positive guy. But obviously, things can be represented as well as far as people's support.
Similarly, so historically, we've struggled with Eurovision. Part of that because of political events, and that still bleeds into Eurovision to this day. But anyway,
it's supposed to be non-political, but it can be very political.
Very political. Well, they did a thing for Ukraine where everyone was singing and stuff like that, which I thought was great.
Yeah, no, it was quite well spent. So yeah.
But there are, I mean, have you got much more on your list?
No.
Okay.
No,
I'm just saying because there are some people, there are some countries and stuff that don't get into.
Well, Connor,
Eurovision, isn't there?
There's. I've been doing a little bit of research on this, and there are certain.
I thought you might have
certain artists or countries.
Discussion.
Yeah, that put forward their entry for one reason or another. It might be the song's not good enough. It might be that it doesn't quite sit right with the Eurovision sort of rules and regs. It could be any of those things. But when you deep dive into these sort of things, it's incredible the sort of talent you come across.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 artists, or
what?
Yeah,
just keep speaking.
I'll keep speaking. Yeah, I've got 3 artists. So
I forgot to put a timer on.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yes, I have no idea where we are with this now.
Long time.
After having a long chat beforehand to try and work it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to introduce the artists?
You found artists.
So I found these artists, and they've submitted for this year's the 2023 Eurovision Song Contest held in Liverpool for the Ukraine. Oh my God, I said for Ukraine. Anyway,
on behalf of
Ukraine. But for one reason or another, these weren't able to go through. So if I gave you a little bit of I could tell you the artist's name and the song, and perhaps after you've heard
the country.
Song, and the country they're representing, and then after the song, perhaps I'll give you a little bit of background to the artist, because I've done a little bit of digging about those. Yeah. Obviously, they have to submit that when they actually put the entry through.
Yeah, of course.
So I think what we'll do is we'll start with an artist called Lil Dave.
Lil Dave?
Lil Dave, right? Don't
As
think that's his
L-I-L.
real name. L-I-L, Lil
and an
Dave.
apostrophe.
Yeah.
And then Dave.
Yeah.
D-A-V-E.
Yep, no. And he submitted a song called Fruit.
Fruit? As in F-R-U-I-T.
Yeah, if you want to spell everything out, you can spell this out as well. And he did it on behalf representing Canvey Island.
Oh, Canvey Island.
Which I think is why his entry didn't go through.
Yeah, because they're not their own state, are they?
Well, obviously, Little Dave, he might be good with the old music and all that, but not so good on
Canvey
the old
Island,
geography.
that's like a budget IB for you said once before, wasn't it?
It's a pound shop Bahamas.
Pound shop Bahamas.
And I'll tell you a little bit about Little Dave afterwards, because he's, I've put together something now. But if you'd like to play the song,
when you say put together something, you mean you've researched? So,
yeah, no, that's what I mean. Yeah,
it does exist.
I research and then I have to put it together. So
like
it does exist.
Big old puzzle from your mind.
Yes. So if you'd like to play the song, this is Fruit by Lil Dave.
Eurovision, I used to watch you on the television. Since then I'm on a one-man mission to make everyone healthy, wealthy, ready for the selfie. Pears from the tree remind me of me, to the A, to the B, to the vitamin C. Cherries, berries, quench my thirst, ripe and bright and ready to burst. Bunch of grapes fills my plate, melons, lemons seal my fate. There's nothing quite like a juicy satsuma, my fruit of choice, you may have heard the rumour. I'd like to travel around this blue world planet for the juicy taste of a pomegranate. So you better fill my next of kin, 'cause I'm about to overdose on some mandarins. Full of fruit with a zesty bow, like a carton overflown with umbongo. Meat and veg just cause such drama, I'd rather be at peace with a ripe banana. My future is bright, I'm just glowing, got the flawless complexion of a young Jim Bowen. Strawberries and creams, my dream team. Get your gums, rents and plums, they're not what they seem. I'd like to travel around this blue old planet for the juicy taste of a pomegranate. So you better for my next of kin, 'cause I'm about to overdose on some mandarins. Chilling out in my Primark pajamas, soaking up raisins, pound shop Bahamas. Little Dave signing off.
Wow, Lil Dave.
Yeah, great. Really good.
Yeah, I could actually see it. I can almost picture it. I'm seeing like a blue stage with like this fruit and people, because you can only have 6 people on stage with Eurovision, but different people dressed as different fruit.
Different fruit, yeah.
And dancing.
I just think, the young people of today, they get a bad rap. No pun intended. And
Nice.
and really, for someone who's got the influence of Lil Dave to come into this competition, I think it's a shame he didn't get through and promote the eating of the healthy eating element. I think I think it's a real shame. I think it's something that was a bad miss on their part. Although obviously Canvey Island
couldn't take part anyway.
No, it's not its own principality.
Did he not want to do it for the UK? Was he only doing it for...
Oh, he only wanted to do it for Canvey Island. And I know people that are not from Canvey Island have thought about blowing the bridges a few times to keep them on there. But it isn't its own country. So, unfortunately, that couldn't happen. But I could tell you a little bit more about him if you'd like to, or you got a comment
His
to
voice
make?
sounds very similar, but familiar to me. But
Well, it's Essex, isn't it? I mean, it sounds like you and me, doesn't it?
yeah, more one of us than the other. But carry on.
Yeah, well, maybe, yeah. So, Little Dave, real name Randy Badger.
Oh, so not Dave.
No, he completely changed his name.
Well, what's wrong with Randy Badger?
Randy Badger's a great name.
Randy Badger is a great name. Is it not Randall Badger or?
I don't know what he's. I presume he was named at birth Randy.
Yeah, because he wanted to be more like, because you can imagine Randy Badger. There's a lot of people called Randy Badger, so he wanted to be more individual by going with Dave.
Yeah, but there probably was another Randy Badger that was entering the Eurovision Song Contest.
Just got rather confusing.
Right. So, sorry, Little Dave, real name Randy Badger, is a 23-year-old community policeman who, when not fighting crime, is found writing grime.
Nice. Can you read it a bit like a Wikipedia article where they refer to them by their surname first?
Badger, Randy. What, like that?
Just like Badger, just Badger. But although,
Badger?
can I just point out, because badgers aren't real, do you remember? We spoke about very early on.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Oh, like episode
Well, I'm
1
not- so, yeah,
or 2
his
or
name's
whatever.
Badger. I don't see the connection. Badger's influences include Dusty Springfield, Shaggy, and Kid Creole and the Coconuts, although the latter of these he's had to stop listening to due to a severe allergic reaction. I've got Randy here. So
Can you change it to Badger?
All right, Badger chose his stage name.
Or Randy.
All right.
I'll
Randy
accept
chose
both.
his stage.
Or both names together.
Randy Badger chose his stage name of Lil Dave as a tribute to his nan, Dave Badger, who raised him from the age of 5 when his parents were both killed in a freak crazy golf accident. After the incident, the number 7
Randy.
hole on the crazy golf course was retired indefinitely as a mark of respect, but all scorecards are in their original format, so best cross through the box for hole 7 before you start to save confusion later. So that's all about Randy Badger. Obviously, a difficult childhood.
AKA Lil Dave.
AKA Little Dave. But for a 23-year-old,
That's
and
pretty
to
good.
jugel that with being a policeman as well, I think he's
Community
done really
policeman.
good. Community play. Oh, yeah, and that's not a proper policeman. Well,
He just tells you not to do something.
yeah, and then you ignore him. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame, but hopefully he won't be too distraught about having his application for the Eurovision Song Contest turned down, and we'll go on to bigger and better things.
I see great things from Mr. Badger there, from Randy Badger. I can see.
Do you think he should go back to his name of Randy Badger?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So that's the first one of the artist. The second
Rest
one,
in peace, Dave Badger.
His nan.
Nanny Dave
No,
Badger.
his nan was still alive. It was his mum and dad that was killed in the crazy golf
Oh
accident.
yeah, sorry. You're
wish you'd
doing great. Nanny Dave Badger.
Nanny Dave Badger, an inspiration to all of us. Okay, so the next track.
About Mr. and Mrs. Badger.
Yeah, no,
What are their
I'll
names?
pass on your commiserations. I
You
think
don't
they
know
were
that?
both called Dave as well.
Mr. and Mrs. Dave Badger.
So the next song.
It's weird that he got called Randy, really, isn't it?
I know. I think they just got bored.
They just
it
couldn't
happens
stick
when
with the
you're-
Dave thing. There was a TV channel called it, and they thought, no, we got to
No,
copy.
yeah, it's by that time, yeah.
Yeah.
There was no TV station called Randy. Well, it probably is, but it's not one we can get without paying for it. Right, the next artist
Unfortunately.
is someone or some people you might be familiar with.
Oh, yeah.
So the next song is called Saki by Unishiku, featuring Barnacle Barry.
Oh, I got to say, they're doing a collaboration.
They're doing. We've said all along we didn't know how the hell it would happen because of their different lifestyles.
We found them, really, didn't we? They got big because of us.
We discovered both of them, and I think they've become household names, really.
In this household, at least.
Yeah, in this household, in this room.
Yeah, because I don't think Mum knows who they are.
Now, unfortunately, their one got turned down because they were representing nowhere and the ocean. Because as we know, Unishiku is a very mysterious character who no one knows anything about or where they come from and who they are. Bit of a Banksy, really.
Yeah.
and that's not rhyming, staying on.
There's rumours that he might be Nanny Dave Badger.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, we don't know. You know, that's what I'd say is now you've said that, I just want to go on record and say that's not from us, and that may well not be true.
Yeah.
So there's no comeback. So they're representing Nowhere and the Ocean.
Nowhere and the Ocean.
And the Ocean. Again, not something you can do with the Eurovision Song Contest.
I don't think the ocean's in Europe, is it?
Well, it's everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, actually, you're wrong. So
yeah, but like, is the ocean in Europe? No, because Europe's a landmass.
Yeah, but Australia. Right, I'm just going to say
it's in the ocean.
It's in the ocean, right? Okay.
Fair enough. So.
Okay, so if you could play this song, it's, as I said, it's called Saki by Anishiku featuring Barnacle Barry.
Shiver me timbers.
Wow, Anishiku making a comeback.
I know you're a big fan.
I'm a big fan of Anishiku.
I knew you'd
I've
be
been waiting for
excited
more
about
from him.
this.
And the thing is, you can really see how, because time's progressed. Like it's been pretty much 2 years since he released Anishiku by Anishiku.
Yeah.
And you can really see how his style has progressed. Its style has progressed.
Yes.
Because it used to be just like.
It's a lot more. I don't know. Some of the rawness has gone. It's a bit more polished.
There is more to be said. There's more music going on in the background.
There's a fine line. Yeah. Oh, it's very basic. Very, very stripped back.
Because original Anishiku was more like pure soul. You could see. Its soul.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was.
And now. But I like the progression. I feel like it represents the change in the world.
I think you're right.
And Barnacle Barry coming in with those key points such as fish heads and tentacles. Oh, wow. What? That spoke to my toes.
I think it speaks the words that we all wish we could say, but we haven't got the platform to say it on.
Yeah. I envy these guys.
What came with this is, and I now know more about Anishiku than I ever did. And if I read this through. So, the music scene's equivalent to Banksy. Anishiku is an enigma and releases material in a random, sporadic manner. Like a smell that seems to appear from nowhere, but at the same time has clearly somehow escaped from your own body, Anishiku has already built up a cult following in the 16 to 17 and a half age brackets. It is mind-boggling to how the collaboration with Barnacle Barry came about, as Barnacle Barry can barely communicate and only comes ashore a couple of times a year at an unspecified location. But there is a rumour that this will not be the last time these artists work together.
Wow.
And a new project with the mysterious and thought-provoking title of Moist Opera has been heard.
I sense a musical incoming.
Has been heard in whispered conversation around the coastal areas of Dorset in the last few weeks. We'll have to ask
because Becky and Sam
because they've been there. Although, obviously, when I got this through, it was prior to their wedding.
Which is interesting.
Yeah,
really.
so that's exciting news. There could be something for everyone. So
we met Barnacle Barrett, didn't we, once when we were at sea?
Yeah, when we went out in the estuary, we come upon him. Yeah,
boat.
Yeah.
Was the estuary?
It was more of a plank we were on. It was the estuary.
I remember there was noises. That was so good. Do you remember the noises of the rowing boat?
Rowing boat and everything. Yeah, and
we used to go all out for the sound effects.
And there was a bit of a issue because there seemed to be some sort of disagreement of where I was sitting, and we were actually sitting one behind the other. But I could still see Barnacle Barrett and his wife when they appeared out of the mist.
Yeah. But you had to give your mic to Barnacle Barrett.
I did, so I couldn't speak, obviously. So because let's face it, we were on a plank. Technology was few and far between there. So right,
wow,
so
that's probably too much information.
Moist opera.
Moist opera. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Can't wait.
Yeah,
I hope it comes.
Yeah.
Comes
so
about.
but yeah, so that got turned down because
one because they didn't
they
turn
had no
up.
location. They just didn't turn.
No, they just.
He's an enigma. He turns up when he needs to, doesn't he? He's like Nanny McPhee.
He is. When you
they call him Nanny McPhee of the.
They do call him the Banksy and Nanny McPhee of the music industry. But
wow, and it rhymes as well.
But they apparently Mel Gibson. Apparently Mel Gibson brought their track to represent them there, which is why he was there. But no, straight away they said no, which is a real shame because I think for a competition to continue and be viable in today's society, you've got to look beyond borders. Right. Track 3. Now again, this person, if you follow our podcast, but I know Connor, this person holds a special place in your heart.
I don't really follow the podcast.
No, okay. So this song,
but I've been aware of the podcast for a long time.
You have, yeah. So this song is by an artist and a friend of the podcast.
Oh yeah,
called Brad the Inhaler.
Brad the Inhaler. Oh, I love Brad the Inhaler.
Now he was representing Transylvania.
Of course, he's a vampire.
He's a vampire,
an asthmatic vampire.
Let's spell it out right at the beginning.
Just to clarify.
Yes, that's where he got his nickname, Brad the Inhaler.
Well, just because people wouldn't listen to the vampires episode.
They wouldn't know, would they? And the song title is lovely, really.
How many times has he been on the podcast? Has he only been the once?
I think he's only been. He was on our.
He did a comment for the 50th.
Oh, he did a comment for the 50th,
and he did the quiz.
But he did the quiz on the vampire episode, and but he had to he didn't hang around for too long.
No, because
he was opening a shop in Pitsy.
Yeah, was it?
He was opening a Budgeons in Pitsy or something. Anyway, the song's called "Bite Me," so play that song.
I've read all my fan mail, and it all says the same. I see my fan base party, and they think I should sing. I've risen from my slumber and dusted off my cape, not making up the numbers. The crown is mine to take.
I come from Transylvania. I'm Brad the Inhaler. I'm coming to a neck near you. You'll hear me come a-rocking, arising from my coffin. There's nothing you can do.
My My voice will put you in a trance. You'll do anything I say. I'll get you all to dance. My words you must obey. I'm the harbinger of death, the courier of cruel. I'm a little out of breath, but this song goes out to you.
I come from Transylvania, I'm Brad the Inhaler. I'm coming to a neck near you. You'll hear me come a-rocking, arising from my coffin. There's nothing you can do.
Well, Brad the Inhaler's managed to make his way into the music industry, I see.
Well, he's trying to.
Yeah.
He's trying to pry his way into
Because
it.
he sounded like he's confident he's in his fame now. I don't know he was famous beforehand. Heads to he was opening up that shop at Pitsy, but...
Yeah, I think he's quite comfortable in his own dead skin.
Yeah.
But he's sort of
just dust.
He's branching out. But there was all sorts of problems with his entry. One you alluded to a bit earlier on. It was about 40 minutes long.
I mean, I didn't say that during the podcast, but I said to you outside the podcast.
Oh, right. Outside the podcast. There's a little bit of an extra, little extra there for you.
Yeah.
Out of podcast extra.
Yes, it was a very long song. And if I'm correct, the length of a song for Eurovision is like 2 minutes?
It is 2 minutes. It is 2 minutes. So
less than 2 minutes.
Yeah. Other things, you have to be available to rehearse during the day. Obviously, he doesn't come out during the day.
Yeah.
So there wasn't, and Mel Gibson weren't available. So all these sort of things. They didn't like the song title. They thought it was quite offensive, calling it Bite Me. And, it's key, I suppose, that Transylvania isn't a country in itself. It's part of Romania, and they already had their own entry. So
it's a bit like the Canvey Island scenario again, isn't it?
Exactly. So anyway,
all the same mistakes.
You might know a little bit about Brad the Inhaler, as he's a friend of the podcast, but at 376 years old, Brad is the oldest contestant ever to enter the Eurovision Song Contest.
On the previous podcast he was on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Eurovision Song Contest, having the edge over Engelbert Humperdinck, who is 3 years his junior. A long-serving Prince of Darkness, Brad grew up in a small wooden hut deep in the Carpathian Mountains, which he shared with his mother and a goat named Stephen. Brad has asthma and recently got into a fist fight with Danny Minogue when he turned up to one of her gigs and tried to park in a disabled bay. Brad is an impressive 6'8" tall, but has abnormally small feet, which often sink into the soft ground like tent pegs if he lingers in one place for too long. A Sagittarius, Brad is a fun-loving, energetic and adventurous guy with a zest for life, which, if you take into account the fact he's been undead for centuries, is a credit to his tenacity. Now, we know him, and that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
He's got tiny, tiny feet, hasn't he?
Yeah, really pin-like feet.
It's like as I say, like tent pegs.
Like tent pegs, yeah.
But he would have been disappointed. But I got a feeling it's.
But he saves money on shoes because he buys the children's ones.
He does buy the children's ones,
and sometimes he gets the one that light up. But he's got to be careful because of the amount of light they give off.
Yeah,
make sure they don't give off UV,
and he can't creep up on people, can he? If he's got light up shoes.
Yeah.
So really, that's not a good idea.
He has got a preference for Ribena over blood, though.
Oh, he's not. He's not. I think they get a bad rap, and I think he pushed the disabled bit too far with the small feet and being undead
and asthma.
Oh yeah, that was what I was really actually going to say. But
surely, but he has got a bus pass though, isn't he? Because he's over 760.
He's got about he's got about 50 of them. Yeah. No, so he's an interesting. I don't think it's the last we're going to see of him, to be honest with you. I think, all right, he tried to crack the music scene. There's going to be other things. He's that sort of charismatic guy, isn't he?
Yeah, I thought it was a beautiful song. It's a shame it couldn't make it into the Eurovision. Hopefully he'll come back with something new next year, and maybe he'll even represent Romania.
It would be the preferred option, and I could crowbar it in. So there you go.
You could crowbar in.
Yes, as his representative in the living world.
Are you his representative in the living world?
I am now, yeah. We're just,
Since when?
A
few moments ago.
Yep. Okay, so what do you think? Free entries, free no's,
They would
worthy
honestly. The problem is I think one of the big reasons why they weren't part of it is because they would have won.
They would have, and I think sometimes...
and it was all a fix because Sweden was going to win because of ABBA anyway.
Yeah.
And their 50th anniversary. Was it 50th anniversary? Yeah.
Bang on.
Yeah. It wasn't a fix, but I'm just making a suggestion here. It might have been.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so that's us wrapped up
Yeah.
for the Eurovision.
Game time.
So, though that may have seemed like a lot of fun, I'm ready for more fun.
More fun.
With a game.
Yeah, with a game, with a quiz.
A quiz, classic.
Yes, I've got a quiz for you, so it's not the end of the Eurovision fun. So this quiz, what do you reckon it's about?
Is your leg okay?
Yeah, I was just stretching it out and moving it.
Okay.
So it's a Eurovision quiz.
No way.
You took too long to answer, so I answered for you.
What did you say?
I said, what do you reckon it's about?
Oh, I reckon it's a Eurovision quiz.
You're absolutely right. Well done. That's 1 point. If you'd like to pay my sting for this quiz, that'll be 2 points. Yes. I'm starting to lose the ability to speak. We haven't done this very long, for a very long time, and it takes a little while to get back into it.
So you'd like me to play your sting?
Yes, please, right now.
Okay.
We are Great Britain, and we've not got any friends. And when it's time for Eurovision, it drives me round the bend. Each country scores our song like it's the worst they've ever heard, when their own song's pretty awful, a steaming pile of turd. Love Eurovision.
What a lovely sting.
Yes, and as you can tell, despite my frustrations, I love Eurovision.
Yep.
So you ready?
Do you love it just for the podcast or in real life too?
I love it more to do with the podcast than I do the actual real thing, but you know.
I've a question. How many questions?
10.
10? But I've already got 2 points, haven't I?
Yes, you've already got 2 points, so you're possible 12 out of 10.
Excellent.
So, look, okay, these are all about artists within the Eurovision Song Contest. I'm just looking for A, B or C
now,
answer from you.
If they were all about the 2023 one, I might have stood a chance, but...
Well, just give this one a go.
Well, I wasn't just going to walk out.
Okay, question 1.
Would you want me to ask you the questions?
No, I probably wouldn't remember them, but question 1. Which of these was a real song title from 2007 performed by DJ Bobo? Was it A, Vampires Are Alive? Was it B, Mummies and Daddies? Or was it C, Zombie Rodeo?
Ooh. I feel like it's Zombie Rodeo, Vampires Are Alive. Zombie Rodeo.
That is incorrect. It was A. It was the entry by Switzerland, and it was called Vampires Are Alive. Question 2. Yeah, I know.
It wasn't even Brad doing it.
It wasn't. Question 2.
It's DJ Bobo.
DJ Bobo. Question 2. In 2006, a cocky band, LT United,
Before you
performed...
point out, you'll ask me questions. 2006. Do you know what I was in 2006?
Look, this isn't the point, is it? And performed a song, but which of these was its title? So in 2006, a cocky band, LT United, performed a song, but which of these was its title? Was it called A, The Best Song? Was it called B, We Are the Winners? That's where the cockiness comes in with these.
Yeah, I get it.
Or
yeah,
was
I got
it
thank
C,
you.
Better Than Jesus?
Oh, I don't think they're allowed to do stuff saying better than like as in calling that kind of stuff into Eurovision.
Religion, yeah.
Yeah. What was the other two options?
The Best Song or We Are the Winners?
We Are the Winners.
That is correct. Nice. Well done. Okay, that was Lithuania, and they got to number 6 with that.
Oh, so they did actually quite well, but they didn't win.
They didn't win. Question 3. Estonia's song entry in the 2005 Eurovision contest
go back in time.
Was called Cool Vibes. But what was the band's name? Was the band's name A, Vanilla Ninja? Was it B, Chocolate Karate? Or was it C, Strawberry Samurai?
Vanilla Ninja.
It was Vanilla Ninja. Strawberry Samurai. I like that when I put that down. Anyway, that's 2 out of 3.
Like I said once before, you give yourself away with the alliteration.
I probably do. Okay.
And Chocolate Karate doesn't roll off the
moving
tongue.
way up in the years. Question 4. In 2012...
Is it you're actually going backwards with each one?
No, it wasn't.
You've gone back
that was 2005, that
yes,
was.
You got 2007, 2006, 2005, now 2004.
No, 2012, I said. Question 4.
Oh,
Question 4.
Okay, fair enough.
In 2012...
I'm sure you said 2004.
No, I didn't. In 2012... You won't listen. You know you won't listen, so it doesn't matter. The Austrian entry...
You might have to fact check this next week.
Maybe. The Austrian entry caused some nervousness with the commentators, but what was the duo called? Was the duo called The Pooh Song? Was they called Ditty Dump? Or was they called Track Shitters?
Track Shitters.
It was Track Shitters.
I like it.
Question 5. The Israeli entry, way back in 2007, run into some trouble because of the band's name and copyright infringement. So they changed it to T-Peaks. Sorry, T-Packs.
T-Bags.
But what was it originally? Was it A, Special K? Was it B, Tipex? Or was it C, Tetleys?
Special K.
It was, in fact... B, Tipex. So they were called Tipex and they changed their name to T-Packs.
I've heard of someone else being called Special K, though.
Yeah, it's the cereal.
Yeah, but of something other than cereal.
Okay. Question 6. In 2012, the Montenegro entry was a solo singer called Antonij Pusic. But what stage name did he use? Was he called A, Arnie Mozart? Was he called B, Jean-Claude Van Brams? Sorry, Jean-Claude Van Brams. I'm ruining my own joke there. It's not B.
Okay.
Or was it C, Rambo Amadeus? So basically, was it A, Arnie Mozart, or C, Rambo Amadeus? Damn it.
Arnie Mozart.
It was C, Rambo Amadeus.
Oh.
Question 7. The Netherlands entry of 2017 was called... Hang on, how am I going to... Was called, and I'm going to spell this out, Ogon, or it was OG3NE. So O, comma, G3NE. This is a terrible question. I don't know why I did this. But what did that name represent? So, did it represent... The band was a trio of sisters. That's the 3. They were all from the same gene pool. That was the G3NE. And their mother's blood type was O. Right? Was that why they were called it? Or was it called... They called that because the singer was Irish, of Irish descent, which is the O, and called Gene. And his first name was Gene. Right? So the singer was called Gene, and he was from Ireland, so it was O something. Or was it C? This is the worst question I've ever done. This is your
best, I couldn't be honest.
Question C. Oh, sorry, C. Was it the OG represented the town when they were born, which is in the northeast of the Netherlands, and there were 3 in the band?
The last one?
No, it's the first one.
Oh, my goodness.
The band was a trio of sisters. That's the 3.
The NE might stand for Netherlands.
They were all from the same gene pool. They were all sisters. That was the gene pool, G3NE, and their mother's blood type was O.
Right.
Sorry about
terrible,
that question.
Terrible,
it was a terrible question. Yeah.
Terrible band
It
name.
looked good when I wrote. Well, it looked okay when I wrote it down. Question 9.
Yeah, difficulty is I think it's a written kind of question, isn't it?
It is really. You need to see it. Bulgaria has the record for the longest title of a song when they entered Man Giwont Sich so schnell a dos schon. But which of the following is the correct pronunciation of that?
Are you waiting for it?
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
Oh, well done. Was it A?
It's pronunciation.
Was it A, this is long and also beautiful? Was it B, you get used to the beautiful so quickly? Or was it C, someone's been hit with the ugly stick?
You know what? Read the name of it again.
Man gewohnt sich so schnell an das schon.
You said schlong the first time.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it. This is another one I should have written down.
Because I genuinely want to say someone's been hit by the ugly stick.
Well, say it then.
Okay.
No, that is incorrect. You get used to the beautiful so quickly, that stands for.
See, I thought schlong might have been stick.
Yeah, I know. I get that. Question 9, the
I went off
penultimate
one
question.
word.
Did I pronounce penultimate correctly?
Yep.
How long is the shortest song in Eurovision history? So we talked about Brad the Inhaler doing probably one of the longest songs.
2 minute 45.
Well, was the shortest song A, 1 minute 27 seconds, B, 1 minute 57 seconds, or C, 2 minutes exactly?
Oh, what was the first option?
1 minute 27 seconds.
1 minute 27.
That's correct.
What happened there?
I don't know. That was Aina Mun Pita from Finland in 2015.
Did you have to change that question to exactly 2 minutes? Because
Yeah.
you wondered if what was the last one, 2 minutes originally?
No. And then I remembered you'd said that they were a certain amount of time.
What did you say originally then?
I can't remember, but it would have made it
But you've not got
obvious
it
that
written down
wasn't-
there then?
No, I haven't got it written down. I changed it because I remembered the fact that you'd already cited the fact that they can only.
When did you
perform for
change it?
some-
Because you printed that off before we start recording.
No, I remembered you'd already told me this once before.
Oh, right.
And I remembered it while I was doing it. So your last question, question 10.
I'm glad we got that out of the way.
Yeah, I am as well. In 2008, France's entry was Sebastian Tellier singing Divine, but which of these wasn't a part of his stage act? So there was an artist from France called Sebastian Tellier, and he sang a song called Divine, but which one of these wasn't part of the stage act? Was it A, his backing singers dressed as him, including fake beards? Was it B, he inhaled a helium balloon halfway through his performance before carrying on? Or was it C, he entered the stage sporting a fake jetpack? Was it that one? So, one of these he didn't do, right? I'm going to do that again. One of these he did. Oh, no, this is appalling. I don't know what's gone wrong. Did he? One of these isn't true. His backing singers dressed as him, including fake beards. He inhaled a helium balloon halfway through his performance before carrying on. Or he entered the stage sporting a fake jetpack.
I'm still stuck on the first time when it's just...
No, yeah.
easy to...
He entered the stage sporting a fake jetpack.
I can't stop laughing.
Well, you're going to have to tell me which one is it. Which one of those is not true?
The beards one. I don't know. I really don't know.
No, that is incorrect. His backing singers did dress as him, including fake beards, and he did inhale a helium balloon halfway through his performance before carrying on, but he didn't enter the stage sporting a fake jetpack.
I should have known. That's why you couldn't say, because it wasn't
Because, and the reason I stopped, because I put in what actually happened there. He actually entered the stage on a golf cart. So when I said he entered the stage sporting a fake jetpack, it's because I still had written down there he actually entered the stage on a golf cart. So there you go. That is the end of my little long Eurovision quiz. Are you all right? Are you broke?
I shouldn't have been laughing that much.
No. Oh, compose yourself.
I
Right.
enjoyed that quiz.
Okay, so you're enlightened now about all these fabulous artists. I think probably that quiz tells us everything we said at the beginning about how bizarre Eurovision can be.
You know what, I'm really angry. Because there
You're
was
really
not
angry.
a single question about 2023. Why the hell did I watch it all?
I just thought it'd be funny for you to watch it.
I watched literally all of it.
Yeah, but I thought that'd be too fresh in your mind to ask you questions about it.
It happened weeks ago.
Well, it wasn't at the time when I wrote this.
To be fair, when you wrote the quiz, we're gonna record it before.
Yeah, so I'd
watching it,
already
so,
written
yeah.
the quiz before it actually happened. So that's the reason. That's the actual reason. You're right.
I'm just wiping tears out my eyes.
That's good. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's been so
so
painful this episode.
it's been a very painful episode. I hope everybody's enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Do you want to do your spiel?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess so.
Okay.
Well, we've had countless messages, and when I
don't think we've got time
say
to read them
countless
out.
messages, I mean we could count less because there's none of them.
Yeah.
If you do want to send us a message, you can do so via the website, fatherandsundays.com, and then you go on to the contact us page, or you can email us at contactus@fatherandsundays.com. That's an email. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. On the website, got all the episodes available on there, but they are also available on your chosen podcast platform.
Which platforms could it be?
Spotify.
Yeah. Apple.
Apple Podcasts.
Excellent. So all the biggies.
Yeah, I actually got asked the other day. I said, "Where can I?" Actually, genuinely, where can I listen to your podcast? I went, wherever. Said it's everywhere.
In the bath. Like,
No, yeah.
yeah. Okay.
You sometimes do, didn't you?
I do if I'm doing, which I'm going to have to
you're
do on this
washing.
podcast, is like do a check on it, make sure that all the information I've supplied is
Yeah,
correct.
But you're probably gonna check it after you've taken
It's
the
been
bath.
released, and after I've had the
Oh,
bath.
sorry, no. Hang on, no.
I don't know what we're talking about then. What? After the bath.
After released.
Oh, right. After my bath. Oh, I might not do it while I'm in the bath. I don't know what you're talking about now. Look, I think we better finish this off. Next week.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Oh, right, sorry.
Follow, share, like, tell your friend about us.
Echo, yeah. Please tell people about us. Not
Tell
the
us to
police,
avoid
just
it.
tell people that actually might listen. Next week,
Tell Eurovision. so
as we
include.
obviously you can tell by the beginning of this podcast, next week we're not 100% sure what we're going to
We don't know
release,
what's gonna
but
go
it'll
on.
be a surprise, won't it? It might be relevant. It might not be relevant.
We might
whatsoever.
include some stuff about Father's Day.
We might do. You never
We
know.
might not.
But we might not. So you're gonna have to. You're
We
gonna
didn't
have
even
to
know what's
listen
going
in.
on with this episode.
No,
half
it's
the
absolutely
time,
not. So you're gonna have to listen to next week's to find out what the hell is gonna happen.
Yeah, I feel a bit dehydrated now. I've
Well,
genuinely set
think
myself
we
crying twice.
Better go and have a big glass of water.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's bye from me.